Hello everyone, this is Eve again. Welcome to week 4 of your LIR10 class. This week we're going to be focusing on learning about web resources and how to search for them and how to make sure that you're using good ones. As we know, there's a lot that aren't great out there, especially these days. Fake news has sort of taken over the forefront of what we're thinking about when we're looking at the web, but there's also other ways to evaluate good and bad resources to use, especially when you're talking about for academic purposes. So just a heads up, you only really have one more week of true content in this class. Week 6 will be you're turning in your final project and taking your final quiz. So week 5 we're going to be doing some annotations on the sources you've already been choosing to cite. So make sure you're looking at my comments on your citations, because this will again become part of your final project. And let's go back then to what we're learning about this week. In week 4 we're evaluating web resources. There's been a development of a concept here called the CRAP test that came out of CSU Chico a few years ago. And I think they named it that so that people would never forget it, which, it's cute. You won't forget now, right? But the concept holds of there's different ways to evaluate resources, not necessarily about fake news, though a little bit. But what are you looking for when you're trying to decide if this is a good resource to use for an academic paper? So let's go through these things a little bit. This page is linked to your week 4 module, and this I've just sort of adapted from the CSU Chico people because I think it's a little, it's a nice pithy way to look at things. So the first one obviously is the C in CRAP, which is currency. So when was this information published? When was it posted? A really good way to find that information is to go to the bottom of a web page. And a lot of the times it's actually listed there, and it's sometimes listed as a copyright date. You can tell sometimes it's automatically updated. It'll say like 2 seconds before you actually clicked on the page. But somebody's thought about, okay, is this information current? You can also sometimes find that in the About Us section, which also tends to be at the bottom of the page or along the top in the header. So that's a good way to know. If this information hasn't been published or updated for 10 years and it's on a health topic, maybe that's not the most best resource to use, right? And then going down to the R, we have relevance. So this one is important because though it could be good information relevant to other topics or other people in the world, is it really relevant to what you're trying to do for your paper? So I use the example of I had someone actually once turn in a paper to me, and the information seemed interesting and good, but it seemed a little off to me. So I checked the citation, and the website that the person was actually using, this was not in an LIR10 class, by the way, this was in a different class that I used to teach, and it was written by an 8th grade class. So clearly the information was relevant to the 8th graders, but it wasn't of an academic college level. So there's a relevance example. The next one is authority. So who is the person that put together this website? Again, the 8th grade class. That's another example of authority. Is this someone who is a doctor in the field, if you're looking at a health site? Is this person who is affiliated with an organization, like a cancer organization, for instance? Or are they just some random person? And that, again, you can find a lot of that information in the About Us section. That's a really good way to start. And then going down to accuracy, our second A in the CRAP test. So this is a little bit where you get into the fake news section. That's why I said there's a little bit of overlap. But where does the information come from? the good way to check that is if the site has references. Sometimes in the About Us section, sometimes it actually has its own tab, like Information Resources, that kind of thing. Can you prove that this person is actually linking to other sites and using information that is accurate and true and can be proven, or are they just making it up? And then the other P, the last one, is purpose. Why does this website exist? Is it to give people information? Is it to prove somebody's own point? Again, a little fake news related. Is it for, I like the opinion or propaganda? Does the web page have ads on it? Is it to sell something? Does the web page have, again, under About Us or like a mission statement? Like, who are we? Why are we doing this? Why are we posting this page? That will help with purpose. So I hope this helps with your work this week. And as always, let me know if you need any help or questions, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks.